It's just all Nickelback station, but
All
they just
the
call
na-
it the David.
Your
All the
radio
names are
station
always
has a
replaced with
David hour in which they only play songs that are like they feature from bands or artists named David.
Okay, so David
or
Bowie would be in
songs.
there. Yeah.
Yeah, but you want to be obscure. I guess you wouldn't want to do someone famous. You want to be like, this is my nephew David. Here's a song.
Here's my 8-year-old son David, who just found GarageBand for the first time. Here's his debut song. It's just like nonsense.
And it's all the preset like drum beat stuff, you know.
It's like nothing's on beat. It's like,
Discord really loved that, but it works in a different way. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Sonic Movie Show, the only show that reviews every single video game movie. My name is Ethan, and with me here on the red planet itself is Devin. How's it going?
I'm not much of a talker.
Not much of a talker with us for this very special episode. The one and only, the white faction member, because look at him.
Oh my god.
It's David.
Okay, let's back up.
Those
Is
are
this
the bad
because
guys.
I was born on Earth?
Yep.
There you go. Like glad you already had a quote
Yeah.
up for that.
Yeah.
So folks, hi, welcome. This is Sonic Movie Show. Yes, we review every single video game movie. We're reviewing today, I believe this is a 2011 video game film, Red Faction Origins, if the title of this video/podcast episode didn't clue you in. This was Devin's picks. We have this big, long a season here where we've drafted movies from the past that we haven't seen yet on this channel and reviewed them, and we get points on them and all that jazz. And this was Devin's second pick, so this will round out our second picks with this episode here. And I want to ask Devin, why did you pick this movie? And then we'll go around, we'll talk about the video game itself if we have any knowledge.
Honestly don't really remember. This year's draft was way more in the dark than previous years, where compared to last year where I heard Gran Turismo was good, or I've heard Tetris was solid, and that was about it. I haven't heard anyone talk about this movie, not necessarily good or bad, but just that I haven't heard anyone talk about it. Typically we rank live action movies generally, I feel like, a little bit higher unless they're like really astounding. So I guess that's kind of where I was leaning on it, where it just felt like best pick available at the time. We'll see where we rank it, but I also not going to say I was like had high expectations either for it. I don't know, and I guess to segue a little bit into the games itself, like I don't know anything about Red Faction at all. So I've heard the name, maybe I've seen it at a GameStop in the yesteryears of GameStop when that was a thing, when you did that. Maybe I saw it, in the, I don't know, like the bargain bin or something. I have no idea. So I really had nothing to really pull from that where I'm like, hey, I like Red Faction, I'm gonna draft this because maybe I'll like it. Like I really didn't have any knowledge about this. Like I didn't know if it was like a Halo like kind of game, like where it's single player shooter campaign. I didn't know if it was a multiplayer like a Battlefield or something like that, with maybe a story mode or something, maybe a Call of Duty like where it's mostly multiplayer but you can play a story. So yeah, I have really no knowledge about this going in, and yeah, I'll leave it there, I guess, for now.
Okay. David, do you have any
I've
hot
never
Red
played
Faction?
this, no.
No?
I don't. I don't even know if I've seen this. I mean that like.
Wait, you didn't watch the movie?
Well, I thought you were watching it now. I thought this was a live watch.
No, it's only for Sonic films.
I think I don't know. Like I don't know if I've seen it like in a GameStop. Even that's what I meant.
Okay.
Or like even seen the front image. I can't. It like has. It's like reminiscent with the Mars stuff of like sort of Halo, like sci-fi soldiers. But I'd be interested. I'm hoping Ethan has a little bit of lore, so I'm hoping he gives us a little lore here.
Yeah, I got nothing. No, I've never played any of the Red Faction games, but I have known of them. First couple were on PlayStation 2, and the first one was a 2001 PS2 title. that so it's very early in that system's life, and people always talk about how that game was very neat, not necessarily in like, oh, this is one of the best games on the system, but as like a, yeah, this was a cool one, like, yeah, this is definitely one to try, because even back then, 2001, they had introduced, because it's a kind of openish level world, whatever, the quote unquote geo mod system. Basically, you can just start blowing off chunks of the environment with your weapons, or you had a big like hammer or fire axe or whatever. And that was kind of like the gimmick of like you can kind of destroy the world as you're going. So there was a few from that generation, and then there was a couple in the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360 generation. This film takes place in between the last two games that had released on PS3. And I looked this up on Wikipedia after the film. The father character was the protagonist of the second to last Red Faction game, and our main character is the protagonist of the last game. So this movie came out kind of as it was a sci-fi original movie, Sci-Fi Channel. This movie came out as kind of like to tie-in promotion for Red Faction Armageddon.
I'm reading here that like it says for like I found like a press release from when this was first announced that they were making this movie, because it sounded like THQ and Sci-Fi, like it sounded like maybe, I don't know if there was more, but it sounded like there was, hey, if this does well, this is they literally call it a pilot movie, so like if this does well, we'll make more of these or maybe make a TV show. But it says
TV
here,
show, I could definitely see being a thing for Sci-Fi.
Yeah, and it says like, here's about the movie, yada yada yada, here's about Sci-Fi, but then it does say about Red Faction Armageddon, where it says half a century after Red Faction Resistance freed Mars, the Red Planet again becomes a battleground, yada yada, when Darius Mason, grandson of revolutionary heroes Alec Mason,
okay, so he's a grandfather,
Samania unknowingly released a long dormant evil, Armageddon is unleashed on Mars, then yada yada yada. So yeah, like this one, I guess this movie you could say is a, like you said, a middle of the road of the storyline, but I guess a prequel for Red Faction Armageddon loosely.
Right. Which is funny because it's called Red Faction Origins. So I assumed it was before even the original game.
Yeah.
That's why, because at the beginning of the film they say Alec Mason. I'm like, that's a very video game protagonist name.
Yes.
Let me pause right now and quickly look this up. Oh, okay, and that kind of helped cement where this film kind of sat with me for the series. But this makes this movie one of the few in films that we've done so far in the category of actually within the universe of the video games and not like an adaptation. Not a replacement for
the Resident Evil animated movies we've watched are technically canon to the Resident Evil storyline.
Right. They slot in as well. I'm trying to think of others, because usually it is retellings, adaptations. So that's neat for fans.
Fast and Furious. Wait, no, it's a video game. Never mind.
Those were movies to begin with. So
it's early.
Fast and Furious 2 is canon to Fast and Furious 1.
Also about Fast and Furious, the video game that we played there.
Right. That one is considered canon. The one that Bandai Namco
made.
Vin
Diesel did ride a literal rocket ship.
He stood on it. He stood on it.
Awesome.
So stupid. That game got delisted like a year or change after we did that Chronicles of Diesel episode many years ago.
I had fun.
And yeah, I didn't really have fun, but whatever. It was a video game, so well, we don't really have a lot of personal experience with Red Faction, but we did at least all see this movie. So I'm going to go around and discuss what we thought about it. And since Devin had chose this movie for this episode, he gets the honor of setting the scene, setting the pace, setting the tone for a movie I realized when we started today that I had counterpicked it. So,
I forgot remember that. Yeah, so I could tell right away that based off like there was literal pauses. I watched it on Amazon. Literal pauses. I was like, oh, this was made for TV. Like we've watched some other movies that were made for TV, but they usually cut out the the little like commercial breaks where it just will go black for a second. And in a way, I kind of like that they kept it. Like they didn't, like Amazon didn't like cut that out and just have it on there like that. Like I kind of miss the old when you'd buy a DVD or whatnot back in the day of a movie that was on on Sci-Fi Channel or something, that they would just keep that in. They just wouldn't cut that out. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, overall, I was surprised that one, that the Peacemaker's dad is in this.
I forget who that actor's name is too, but he's been in a bunch of things I learned after watching Peacemaker. Like, oh, that guy's been in all this stuff.
Robert Patrick, yeah, is his name. But I wasn't too familiar with the other folks, even though some of them did look familiar. I'm sure I've seen them probably on a Sci-Fi.
I thought that was Tandy Newton, the woman that gave the David's line there. I thought that was Tandy Newton, and that is not her. That someone
is that
else.
Danielle Nicolette there plays Tess? But yeah, overall, I was kind of surprised at like how I enjoyed it for what it was. It wasn't amazing. I'll say that from the very start. Like this does feel like of the like 2010s, even early 2000s. I watched a lot of Sci-Fi Channel as a kid. Just whatever was on, I'd watch it. I know the writer, the director was on part of some Battlestar Galactica. That makes a lot of sense with just how this show is shot. Gives me that energy for sure. I was surprised by like it was kind of fun for me at a lot of parts just because of the quality in some way. Like it was very much like, all right, these sets are cool at some parts. Some they are clearly like keeping it cloudy and foggy because it's probably a small room they're shooting this in. And this was before we also had like nowadays, even on like a TV show or TV movie, it's probably shot on a green screen, and in a way,
Unreal Engine 5 or 4 or whatever is running on.
In a way, despite some of them looking small and whatever at sometimes, I'm like, man, I much rather prefer this. Like this, weirdly enough, just like in 2026, looks cooler to me because it wasn't all just them standing in front of a green screen. They're not on the flight deck, and you could just clearly tell that they shot on a green screen. I'm like, all right, at least they have sets that they're on and they're walking through and engaging with, and it just made it. Like I said, even if it looked cheap in some areas, at least it just felt like they gave a shit.
There's a tangibility to it that people recognize. I noticed this when Tess there, that character, gets like shown or whatever early on. She's sitting at a computer desk, and I'm like, those are the same Dell computer monitors, the 4x3 ones that like every office that isn't a office job office has. You know what I mean? Just like in front of their computers like this. Those are normal computer monitors. And that felt more, despite the sci-fi futuristic elements of it, more realistic than if they try to like CG in some weird thing.
And they did do some CG of like the space stuff, like the showing the space, and it looked a little rough, but I'm like, I don't know, I kind of dig it. I'm like, I don't know, just like it looks so cheesy of that era that I don't know, maybe reminisce of like the stuff I used to watch on Sci-Fi Channel all the time, where it would be monsters that are completely CG'd and people, engaging with that, and it would look silly as hell. So it definitely felt like a sci-fi production. I don't have cable. I haven't had cable in 10 years. So it's kind of, it just made me think about the Sci-Fi Channel. But the story, clearly inspired by different sci-fi things, loosely in some ways. There was some definitely Star Wars with the stormtroopers, with some of the the white faction there just gave me that. I would say
David's guys.
There was the group there. What are they called? The scavengers, the marauders.
Right.
Very close to like either going back to Star Wars, like Tatooine, or even more if you want to go with Dune. Any of those desert sci-fi planet dudes. So I was like, all right. Yeah. But the story itself is kind of cheesy in a lot of spots, and there's some goofy lines. But overall, like I said, I was kind of surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this, because I was worried the first 5 minutes. I'm like, all right, we'll see. This seems lower on the production end. We'll see how this goes. But I don't know if it's just because we're in 2026 and there's so much like everything looks visually the same. I keep seeing clips of the Avatar show on Twitter, and I'm just like, yeah, man, this is what it could have looked like. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously you have hindsight, and like maybe at the time it was probably seen in a different way, but like watching it in 2026, I was like, you know what? This was cheesy. Probably not going to watch it again, but like it has its moments, and I enjoyed it for what it was. And everyone was trying, clearly, like I think everyone did like their characters and was trying their best with it. And the plot itself is a little goofy and whatever, but I don't know. I'll keep that's my kind of high level thoughts. Is I was surprised in some areas, and kind of like I said, I really enjoyed seeing real sets, and for a made to movie adaptation by the Sci-Fi Channel.
Okay. David, knowing that you're a big Red Faction guy, despite being a White Faction member, what did you think about this movie and how it portrayed your people, the White Faction?
God. Yeah, I think I agree with some of the points Devin said. I think this is, to me, a movie that, like, when we were growing up, would be on in the background when your mom was like, okay, we have to clean the house today, and you have to vacuum, and you have to wipe down the counters, and like this would be playing in the background, and like you would stand there for a couple seconds and watch it and then go back to vacuuming. That's like what this like reminiscent of that to me.
Okay.
And so I didn't think it was particularly good. I think it could have been way worse. I think it, like Devin said, the actors actually trying, I think, redeemed it a little bit. And the main character, the main guy there, main protagonist,
Jake Mason.
He did. I thought he did pretty good for his acting and like the lines. Obviously, he was given. I thought he was one of the best actors. Obviously, his dad is like a true professional actor in a bunch of stuff, and he was very good. And then everyone else was just kind of like, okay, like they didn't fully deliver their lines the best. It was like kind of awkward. But those two kind of redeemed it a little bit for me. It's funny you mentioned liking real sets, because I was watching this with my girlfriend, and I was like, oh, it doesn't look that great. And she was like, yeah, but like these are like actual sets. I was like, yeah, that's a good point. Like, like
we gotta get like, Jen on the show, man.
Because we were watching, like, it cuts. I think it's just because it's jarring to go from the real sets, which the real sets look pretty good, and then it goes to the CG, which is like so obviously that CG that's like jarring.
That they're flying around a lot.
I thought at one point, I'm like, is this what it looks like in the video game? Because that'd be kind of cool if they're like they pulled
intro was video game footage. That's how. Or it was CG and was
on the TV while he's at the bar there.
That was my initial thought.
That looked like video. That looked like a video game intro for sure.
Because it would have been, because it kind of felt like, I could see that being in-game 360 if it was the previous game. You know what I mean? Because Alec Mason would have been in there. I'm like, I can see it.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So I mean, it was like you said, the plot, it was okay. I think it could have been better. It was just like there was so many. It was just all of the sci-fi tropes in one movie. Like they just did a trope, and they were like, "What should we do for the next scene? Let's just do a trope again." It was like, I think they weren't like done terribly, but it was just like, "Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, I've seen this before. Oh, I've seen this before." So which is fine. I mean, I feel like I'm speaking pretty negatively right now, but I think this just could have been way worse. And I think the parts that worked. I think they just had a lot, like, they either didn't have enough of a budget to make it all like cohesive. It was like kind of, it just felt like it needed more time. Like the dialogue needed more time. What they did, this will be the last thing I bring up, but we were dying because when they break out of the prison, he's like, you know what would be, actually, I have an idea. Take off your shirt and they'll be distracted. So we were like, what?
The same thought, like, bro just he saw an opportunity, and he's like, I gotta seize this now.
He's like, you know what? If you take off your shirt and have your boobs out, they'll be distracted. I won't look much. And then it doesn't work, which it was kind of funny that they had the lady officer go in immediately.
Yeah, that was a nice like touch there with that. But also, crazy, just like, God, I'm so horny right now.
Yeah.
It really was just an instant thought, like an actionable like statement. Like, you got to do this right now. It's like, what? Why were we? There was nothing leading to maybe thinking that was a viable idea and that he was having.
They could have been like fake fighting or something. I don't know. Just like,
that's just not knocked on the door. They just knocked on the door and they opened it.
Right, yeah.
They didn't look through the door first. They knocked on the door, opened it. You could have just pulled them in.
I do like, by the way, that door, when before that scene, when it's his sister that's there, or we don't know it at first. And it's like this weird, I didn't realize it was like a panel that they look through. I thought it was like the fog door in a Dark Souls game or whatever. Yeah. And he's sitting there, and because the thing is like that, and you could see a silhouette, foggy silhouette of someone through there. And I'm sitting there being like, are they expecting him to walk through the door, or is he expecting them to walk through the door? And we're hanging on this for a while. And I get into situations where I'm watching some of these movies, and I'm like, if that was me, and I can't help it, everyone does this, but I probably do it more than others. I would be like, am I coming through the door, or do you want? And then I thought about, was that fucking Star Wars character, the new movies, who said, like, who talks first? Do I talk first? I'm like, God damn it. I hate that I'm like this now. I'm turning into like a Joss Whedon thinking guy who thinks that's clever. I thought the movie, I agree with David on one major point. This could have been a hell of a lot worse. I did think it was just fine. And for me, a lot of it comes down to what they had them doing. It was so like treadmill-like, of bouncing back and forth between two places just to not pad a runtime. That sounds so like, oh no, we don't know what to do. Just have them, go back to their home base and then go back again. Not necessarily like that, but more of just like, all right, so what do we want? He needs to find his sister. Okay. Are we doing a long journey to get there, or do we need to have the evil Nazis, David's people, the white faction, try to like pit them against each other? Okay, so we need to have them go back. What's the reason of them going back? Them just being disappointed, and then they go back, and then they like, no, actually, I need to get her again, and then leave again. And it's a little, some of that stuff is a little flimsy to me. Main character there, Mason Jr. His motivation of just finding his sister and then also having like, daddy or granddaddy issues, with Alec Mason there, I felt was fine, but they didn't really do much with his character to make him likable to me. He was just our point of view protagonist, and therefore you're just naturally siding with him. You want to root for your protagonist, and I often find that's not true. Enough for me. Wanting him to have just a little bit more of a personality would help, but at the same time, it is a writing challenge to have your standard issue, gone through the ringer military guy still show personality. Because when we see a movie where, like, here's the crew of soldiers and this guy's the wisecracking one, like, that's his personality trait, and he sucks, because we've seen that a million times. I get that that's tough to, like, have, your grunt soldier dude be more than what he's supposed to be and have that feel realistic, but him, and then Tess, I'm sorry, her whole issue is just that she's feeling a prejudice that isn't her being a woman or her being black, it's her being from Earth. But, like, that's only thing that she's got going on as, like,
and no one else really brings it up. It's just her.
It's always, which almost
we don't really see it anywhere else.
That almost feels like I don't think it was intended, but it almost feels like when people want to make a point at, like, here's the liberal protester that's talking too much on behalf of other people who don't care about the plight that this protester's doing. Why don't you stay in your own lane and leave us alone? That almost felt like a characterization of people being like, is this because I'm black? Like that type of, like, lampooning of that type of person But I feel like that's not intentional.
Yeah, I think they needed more like instances where, like, either in the sets themselves or some type of like world building where, like, yeah, if you're from Earth, like, you are treated differently. Like,
and
I don't
maybe
know,
that's in the games, to be fair. You
Yeah,
know, and this was very.
But I agree, it felt very
on...
much just like they brought it up, and I'm like, all right, I can see that possibly happening in a space colony or whatever, sure.
Yeah.
But they don't show it with other people, or that being like a big like political, because there is weird. Well, I didn't talk about this, but there's also like loose political imagery in this, that they obviously, the Red Faction is USSR 110%.
The hammer looking like, or
yeah,
like
I mean,
fire axe or
they're
whatever,
doing
like,
some type of like labor strike at the beginning, and it's not really like shown to what degree, what's that about. So I thought this movie was gonna be way more political, but then they just quickly were like, yeah, whatever. Like, they just say like, we like USSR aesthetics, cool.
That might literally be just what the original game is like as well.
Yes.
You know, to be fair.
But I thought it was gonna be that, and I think if it was, like, I thought maybe that was a big issue in their society, is people who are born from Earth, and I thought there was gonna be something with that, but then, yeah, obviously this turned into more of a space adventure movie than a like drama where there's like, which is fine. But yeah, I don't think they needed that whole thing where
I think you just
her bringing that up.
Like, it would have been better. Her character would have been better if they just dropped that whole thing.
Or at the very least, just had that be in her introduction and then they move on, because she does say that like 3 times in the movie as a punchline. And you know, she mentions a little bit, I think, as much of a, hey, let's be real talk here about that. But
like I said, if you're gonna like bring that home of like, if you want to make that a metaphor for current society, which to me, like, good science fiction isn't always about showing technology in the future. It's more of like a reflection of where is our society now. Like, what things can we talk about racism? Can we talk about xenophobia? By using space colonies to like nail it home. Like, that's been around for a long time in science fiction. And I just think they needed, some type of like layered element to either like the setting itself or showing that is a problem, like we're saying. Like, I think I agree with David where, like, I think they should just not have had that at all. Just felt very just out of nowhere. Or like, all right, is this going to pop up at some point later on and be like a really big deal? And if we just don't get like,
because no one also
I thought
cares.
when they were
no
getting,
one being like, fuck Earth. There's no fuck Earth character in this movie to like have that be, you know, juxtaposed with her being an innocent Earthling that is a Mars transplant.
Maybe you have it where, like, when they first get attacked or something, then you'd be like, oh, you could, you know, tie it into like, there's like chaos starts brewing because people are getting mad at the Earth people who came here, and like, you know what I mean, like, that's shit that actually happens in real life.
Are supposed to be the descendants, or still a part of the Earth Defense Force, which is the name of a video game series. I was like,
I know, I thought for a half second I was like, is this tied to that actually in some way?
That would rule, because Earth Defense Force is goofy as hell.
Yeah.
But no, but like, no one's even like, wait, you're from Earth, you're the inside person. No one ever even did that very obvious layup, because you have this character being like, I'm from Earth and people hate me, despite not really showing the hatred, which I guess I'm kind of glad we didn't just see a movie full of bigotry, but, you know, that's part of besides the point there. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, I just, overall, for the movie, I thought the movie was fine. I wasn't expecting too much going in that it was a sci-fi original movie, you know, a made-for-television film. Does lower expectations, and I think that is important when we've reviewed OVAs on here. Like, okay, this was 90 minutes or an hour of animation made to sell a VHS tape. That's what it is. It's different than a theatrical thing. You know, like, we have lower expectations for that. There's still expectations, don't get me wrong, but we have lower, the highs of another film don't necessarily need to be assumed that what we're watching needs to reach that as well. But still, despite all of that, I'm like, oh yeah, this was just fine. I have personally not a whole lot of experience watching sci-fi original films. It sounds like Devin has. I haven't watched much Sci-Fi Channel.
They all are like this, but I would say this is like quality-wise, like visual quality, kind of better, like I said, because like they actually use sets. I don't know. I've seen so many where
maybe,
it was like
maybe there's
Mega
outside
Croc
money going
versus
in there.
Big Snake, and it's like them in the jungle, people in the jungle. They're like, "Oh my god, it's the Big Snake!" And it'll be the most awful CGI snake you've ever seen.
But that sounds more like that's schlock
you know.
to like fill a trend when like Sharknado was a thing, and like everyone had to make some.
But
weird
it was even
pairing.
before. I mean, dude, I was watching those in like early 2000s. Like sci-fi definitely had like a style to it, and this I didn't even know this was a sci-fi original until before we started recording when I looked it up. But like, it made so much sense to me just because of just how it was
Well, the
shot,
film also
how it
was
framed.
16:9 like television movies as well. But
I'm just saying with like they let sci-fi always like with Battlestar. I mean, I didn't watch much Battlestar Galactica. I couldn't tell you character names, but I've caught an episode maybe here and there in the past. Or Stargate, same shit, right?
I know people really like them.
I know people really like them, but like it's that same stuff where it's like, all right, here's our characters. They're going on an adventure, and you know, Star Trek, right?
And what's affordable for us to have as an adventure?
So
I wonder
fit
if
with that.
If this being a movie that was at least the rights sold to, and well, no, it's a part of the THQ fund part of this, because maybe this had more money to spend, more bigger budget than your typical sci-fi original movie. And this is a part, again, like THQ would go under only a few years after this movie had come out, and THQ Nordic, now Embracer Group, owns Red Faction, and they did a remastered edition of the original Red Faction. It's terrible. It's terrible.
It just says a first-of-a-kind transmedia deal to debut Red Faction Origins working title to a 2-hour live-action movie pilot scheduled to air in March 2011 on Sci-Fi.
2 hours? So that was only an hour and a half.
It's with commercials.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I actually watched a VHS recording of it, so I did watch the commercials. There was Truvia, and what other? Yeah, no, I'm just.
So this was on GameIndustry.biz. This article I found, like I said, from 2011, and it does have the senior PR manager at the end for THQ UK. I could reach out and be like, "Hey, how much was the budget for this movie?"
Dude,
it's
he's
been
not
a long
there anymore.
time.
There's no way he's there anymore.
It's Suzanne. Shout out to Suzanne Panther.
Okay.
Wow.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Sick
Shout
name, actually.
And then they have Julie MacMedan for the investor relations.
Great.
I could reach out.
Okay, do it.
Oh, and Sci-Fi's on, dude. I just have like that's crazy. Back then they would just put your email
Your contacts
address
on there. Yeah,
on there. It's crazy.
Well, this was a press release, right? So I guess.
But it was on gamesindustry.biz, like published July 19th, 2010. Like it's just like it was a news article,
Okay.
but it's like it reads like it says for immediate release, and it's literally. I just know it's a press release because I've read press releases for my job and stuff, so I know like how it looks. And it's like, yeah, it's just funny they left it all up though. It just looks like someone copied and pasted. All right, send it. Do you want to keep their names on there? Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have put them on there if they didn't want to be contacted. All right, that's part of
it's like
the
an
job.
email is what they. Yeah, it's just like here's what it's about. Here's the statements. Here you go. But, I mean, it's good information for this. So, but
Sure. So the fact that none of us have played any of these Red Faction games and know the lore or anything like that, that is a point then to talk about this movie both as a transmedia property that is a part of, an ongoing story. You know what I mean? This is the origins of the character that would be in Armageddon, I guess, and the fate of the character from the previous game. But did this work on its own as its own standalone, story? Because we don't know anything else besides what this movie is, so how do we feel about it?
I think it's a good point because, like, we've watched so many on here where it is just jumps right in. There's no, like, here's the world, here's what you need to know. Like, we've watched a lot of those because there's the assumption that either you really like this, that's the only reason you bought this. You really like Final Fantasy 7. Here's a 20-minute, my previous first pick, 20-minute movie thing. Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? This one, yeah, I think this did a pretty good job of like I didn't know jack shit, and I think I picked up enough. I think having a little intro on the TV was kind of cool when he's at the bar, just quickly fills you in, but then sets the tone and be like, all right, this guy ain't what he used to be. He doesn't got that dog in him anymore, maybe. Yeah. Wow, he faded away from revolutionary politics. What the fuck happened, dude? God, yeah, I'd be pissed too. God, sold out. Now you're just at the bar? Now you're an alcoholic? What? You gotta be on the front lines. There was a protest outside. Where were you?
I know.
But no, I think that intro was good, and like, and there was still like a conclusion to some, like, I think they had like 3 conclusions at the end of this movie, where I was like, all right, like, okay, let's just, I thought their ending of when the 2 factions meet, were like, oh, we gotta work on peace. I was like, all right, cool. And then it was like, all right, and then you got promoted. Okay, cool. And it was like, all right, I'm gonna show my sister her room that she hasn't seen in 20 years. That's kind of sad.
I just assumed their house
And then
was
it ends.
somewhere else. So
Yeah,
when that happens, I'm like, wait, what? Where are we?
I didn't realize that. Yeah, it was the same. I mean, I guess they did. Oh, I got to mention really quick though, the flashback of when they show his mother the first time, right? It was like, oh, she got killed.
Yeah.
And then they should have done the flashback just like when he first sees his sister. They showed a flashback. This whole flashback, yeah, where his mom's actually sick as hell. Like, it's just
But
funny
not
to me.
really. But kind of like.
But the fact that she did a cool pose, I'm like, that's funny. Like, I'm sorry, that's just
she
funny
was
to be like, this is supposed to be like
before Ruth Conda was a thing.
Yeah, I mean, it was just funny that he's like, oh, such a traumatic experience for me, but at least she looked real cool trying to fight him back. Like, I just think that's really
Got, like,
funny.
stabbed like right here. She stabbed that dude's eye. You know. What I
Yeah,
mean?
and, but yeah, just like, I don't know, it's just funny, but it's just fun. It was weird that they like had him like, oh, here's how it happened, and then 2 minutes later, then he sees his sister, and it's like, no, that. Just like the framing of that story should have been when I saw his sister, then it should have been a flashback to that. Because it felt very much just like, oh crap, we gotta put this in somewhere so that people know that when he sees her, that's the sister. Just feels like a weird pacing thing, regardless.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the same room, the house, so they never left the house. That's why it reminded me of that. But going back to my main point was, yeah, there was like 3 endings, but at least it was over. Like, if there was no video game after this or whatnot, it was like, all right, their stories are told, and I'm not gonna say, like I said, I don't think the story in the plot was like amazing, where I'm like, oh my god, I need to tell everyone about this, but like it concluded, and I'm satisfied with that. Like, maybe there's another mission you can do for them in the future. Sure, I can see that working in a video game. But for the sake of the movie, it has a start and an end for these characters, and a genuine good conclusion, right? Like, the 2 factions sound like they're probably like they gotta like be careful, but like they seem to be chiller now, and I think that's cool, I guess, or that's good. Like I said, I don't love this story or anything, but it was a satisfactory ending where it didn't feel like. I thought it was going to be a big cliffhanger, be like, and then now you can finish the story in the video game or 100%. Something. Or, hey, we're going to do a TV show if this does well. Like, we've seen a lot of also video game movies that do that, or there's the assumption that this is going to be the shit, and we're going to make more of these, and we're going to leave it on a cliffhanger. I mean, even Sonic the Hedgehog has done that 4 times or 3 times. So, sure. You know, like, even the ones that do well still do it. I'm glad that this movie was like, nope, it ends. So if there was more, we could work with it, but if not, we told the story.
Okay. Did you like at the end when they revealed, oh yeah, these 2 random marauders happen to be royalty? That trope at the end, like, you're a prince. To like the redheaded idiot
that definitely
kid.
Felt forced.
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
And then I'm like, that feels like that is to like start. Those characters must be in the game then. You know what I mean? Like that the boy must be in the next game then, because like, why care? Why point this out?
I think it makes more sense the more I think about it, because it's like, who cares that these 2, if they are like not royalty or they don't have any standing, who cares that these 2 are like, yeah, we think this guy's cool. It's like, okay, who are you? Why do we care that? So I think the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, I guess that is needed. It was just like the way it was just poorly done.
There was
never get along.
Did need to have some
earlier
standing.
that like well, we chose
Yeah.
this life instead of the life we could have had. Your mom and I had a
Yeah.
falling out. There's none of that could have hinted at the fact that this woman was that man's wife. I will also say, and like, there's a very woke way of looking at this, and I don't feel like I think entirely it's that way, but this movie does the thing a lot of sci-fi and fantasy stuff do, where we have our normal societal characters. We're the colonists, right? And we have these other group, this outsider group that we are seeing them, and they have their own culture or whatever. And I feel like a lot of instances in sci-fi and fantasy media, we see instances like this where, again, normal Western-looking civilization sees this somewhat non-Western civilization, and especially in sci-fi, I mean, they did this, I think, pulled this from Star Wars, the weird cultural customs that can be exploited. The life debt thing. Oh, he took the pin out of the grenade, but because he put it back, he saved your life. So now you owe him a life debt. Remember, like, Chewbacca owed Han Solo a life debt? That was just some throwaway line they said that's why they worked together. They couldn't just be best buddies. The original Star Wars was like, yeah, he has a life debt to me. And then the Solo movie had to, like, make 30 minutes of it a reason. I don't know. So I look at that and I'm like, that's so lame, because that is kind of like how you dial this back real world 500 years, us looking at like Oriental cultures and how weird and mystical they are. Like they have their own custom rules about honor and stuff like that. But at the same time, you could argue, this is my slightly less woke critique of that, is in sci-fi, you have the opportunity to explore a lot of different societies and how they interact. And that was a thing that we did as humans hundreds of years ago. And how like those people looked at others and the discovery and curiosity of them. I don't know. I just saw that. It just really kind of made me mad of like, you're letting this guy swindle you. He clearly just did, like, he didn't save your life. Why are you acting like he saved your life? You don't have a life debt. But I don't know. That's my little goofy thought there.
I mean, it did
about those characters.
The whole thing, like, wow, we're actually so similar in a lot of ways. It's like, but we say that like because it's but I'm gonna say against it though, is that like there's a lot of people out there who will watch this and are bigoted, and hopefully maybe that. I mean, God, if Red Faction Origins saves your life,
tying the community together.
Is that
saved?
I don't know, but you know what I mean. Like, I mean, that's the point of art in general, is that like sometimes it's heavy-fisted, and I don't think that's necessarily always a bad thing. Like time and place and different genres have different, like David said earlier, tropes and like whatnot. So like, I didn't think too deeply into it,
and I don't think they intended much about it. I think they were just doing a thing.
But no, I do find it funny.
Yes. There's a lot that are like that.
Yeah, because I think, but like I said, versus just like, I don't know, the opposite, where it's like these warring factions are just gonna war forever, and like I guess that's which is fine. Like I guess for a video game that works, but like I don't know, but. I agree. I mean, I agree. I see where Ethan's coming from too. Like I said, like
it was just a fun thought. That's all. Not much in it.
I think a lot of movies like this have that stuff that's thoughtful. I think this was truly just like, oh, this is the military society and this is the hippie society, right? Like that's where the thoughts ended. I don't think I'm going to give this movie credit for having deep thoughts about society.
Because they would have to pull it from the
art
video
is up
games,
to interpretation,
right?
Of course, but I think that was not the intention,
right?
Which is fine.
It goes back to even like the political imagery, where like it wasn't any deeper than it just, hey, it looks cool.
And that's what a lot of video games just do, especially, again, if we dial it back, the series begins in 2001. Is this a post 9/11 or a prior 9/11
I'll look it up.
Video game? I did have the release date at one point up, but I forgot. People just like, oh, this is cool, and then that's enough for a video game. Oh, this is cool. The whole like, will these two factions war forever? Is fine in a video game until you learn that like maybe one of the writers is like a massive Zionist, and it's like, oh, That's why you like that. That's The Last of Us Part 2 right there. You need to go into that, but okay. Well,
May 22, 2001.
okay,
So it is a
okay.
pre 9/11.
Wow. So yeah, I mean the PlayStation 2 would have been 6 months old at this point. So it was a pre 9/11 world we could have been in geomodding. We could have been destroying buildings in a video game.
I mean, let's be real. If 9/11 happened and this game was delayed like 2 years or something, maybe you don't have the happy ending. Or the movie, let's say, like it would be like, nah, they're savages. They did 9/11. We can't let that go.
Well, I mean, this was 2011, so that I think that was still prevalent, right?
Well, people forget. Remember, like what a month.
I'm talking
after
about that like 4 years, like after 9/11, like media was different. Like it just was.
Listen, I'll just say, and I agree because I remember because media went through like a counter attack on that as well. I remember the episode of Lost that was very much like, look how this airport is bigoted against one of our principal characters who is Islamic or Muslim, if he's American or not, whatever. Like, look at this. But I will just point out, everyone forgets this. Grand Theft Auto 3 came out like a month after 9/11 and sold insanely well, and that was a game about destroying things in New York City. So not everything we didn't have cancel culture back then is my point.
Well, it's more of just like the higher ups would be like, you do not promote anything that would be like, hey, what if we think about like people who look different than us? Like I'm saying, like things get approved and whatever. There was plenty of art that was not that, but I'm saying is like, there's a reason why certain songs were taken off the radio because they were afraid of what it would sound like, or I don't know. It's just it was still a time period where there was a level of at least from the like I said, the top industry makers of being like, let's make sure we do things that are pro-American, and oftentimes it was either Islamophobic or xenophobic. Not saying everything was. It wasn't like black and white like that, but there was definitely a shift in how things were presented.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or messages.
That's fair.
So
that's fair.
But that's how I was joking. I'm like, if this movie came out in 2003, it'd be different. But hey, we have movies from directors that are on our list coming up very soon, who are making
some prominent
making real art,
like promoting that movie. Man, and like I'm so curious. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about this right now.
We will when we get closer to it. When we get to those movies,
right. My fourth pick will be our first. I think opportunity to talk about that. Just looking at the schedule here. Okay, well, we need to rank this movie. This movie needs to have a spot in the sun here. Oh well, hey, don't look at that. That's not what's on the screen right now. Oh man,
keeping
I'm not
it up
ready.
Pretty long though.
Spoilers.
Well, I have to scroll through OBS right now, and there's a lot going on. Okay.
Wow, you're using the scroll wheel instead of numbers.
Yeah, in OBS, yes, and I'm like that too in video games. I don't use the number pad. My fingers have to be on movement keys because I'm so quick.
Disgraceful.
All right, hey, so this is that draft we were talking about earlier. This is the layout of what we have going on here.
I forgot we gave detention an S, bro. That's
yeah. We had a clip on
redeemed me.
We had a clip on the YouTube channel go up where we all talk about fascism that I thought was pretty poignant. I'm actually happy about that three-way conversation.
We're intellectuals, yeah.
That was the closest where I felt like the
smart.
answer is not ironically. Okay, Red Faction Origins needs a letter grade and a score, but we don't know what that means yet. I mean, I don't
know what a score is. Hey, what the hell?
I could pop open that, like, this is the rubric, but what does this even mean? And to help us understand what this means, Devin, you need to take a break, because I think it's David's turn to read off
knew
what
he was
all of
gonna
these
do me
memes.
for some reason.
Every single episode, I
Same.
think about it. Every single episode, I think about it, and I usually change my mind and go back.
He
to
was
Devin.
delaying. He was delaying too much, and I was like, "Yeah."
I was like, should it be David? No, it should be. Well, maybe it should be David this time. David, please describe what each of these tiers are in however long this video is, because I kept making it longer
Way
and
long
longer.
enough, I think.
In 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so we have a ranking tier list, and it is S through E, F.
In practice,
F.
it's E, but
And we'll get there. So we start with S. S is for super duper spectacular. It's the highest grade. These movies kind of have the special sauce to get them over the edge of A. And I forgot to mention that we grade on a video game movie curve. And so essentially these probably will get ranked higher than they would if they were normal movies, right, in quotes, movies that you would see in the theaters. So yeah, S, super sexy, spectacular. A
has to have
is
those
for
three qualities.
is
Sonic
A
the
is
Hedgehog
for
2 has all those.
A is
for
for
sure.
adjunct amazing. A is they're just solid movies all around. They might not have the special sauce to get it to S, but they're just super solid movies. We enjoyed them through and through. They really didn't have any downsides. Getting to B, this is the start of the curve down. There was notable negatives in these movies, in Bs, but not enough to get it to a C. And so they had more good, right, than bad. Let me name a couple. I'm way ahead of the curve here. Five Nights at Freddy's, Mortal Kombat, Mortal Kombat Legends, that's Mortal Kombat. Resident Evil Damnation, and then Sonic the Hedgehog 3, which is crazy to put Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in in B, even though I haven't seen the full movie. I just know the one Jim Carrey clip. I just know the Jim Carrey clip. Yeah, we're moving on to C here. C is the middle of the bell curve. The word we always used for this is fine. If you're hearing us say, "Oh, this movie was fine. This movie was fine. This movie was fine," probably gonna give it a C. We'll see. Angry Birds, a Minecraft movie, starts with an A, is actually in C. Bayonetta starts with a B, actually in C. There's the most movies in here. These are all just okay, nothing to write home about, but they were good enough not to get it into the D tier. Wow, there's a lot of Resident Evil movies. Resident Evil Apocalypse, Resident Evil Degeneration, Resident Evil Extinction, Resident Evil Retribution, Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Wow, wild. Tekken, Street Fighters, Until Dawn. A lot of just fine movies in here. And then we're getting to D. D is the opposite of B. B is really saying, more good than bad. But D now is more bad than good. Or sometimes just boring, right? So I didn't watch these, but Assassin's Creed, they always say visually appealing, but what even happened, I think, is what they usually say. And then there's other ones like Hitman, not Hitman Agent 47. That's coming up in a couple weeks, maybe. Kingsglaive. There you go, Ethan. You have to schedule that now because I said it. Mortal Kombat Legends, Battle of the Realms, Persona 3, number 1, Spring of Birth. Yeah, I mean, some of these are just, it was more bad than good. They might have had some redeeming qualities, fun, or, they looked good. That keeps it out of E, but overall, pretty bad. And then we get to E, bad overall, no bueno. Blood Rain, Borderlands, Dead Trigger. Some of these movies accidentally get put into E. They could have been a little bit higher, D or C. But for the meme of it, we keep them in E. In the Name of the King, A Dungeon Siege Tale, is what it is. King of Fighters, just overall bad, right? This is, not passing. This is failing grade, lower than 60. And then F. The reason I was confused was E or F is because E is really the bottom, but F is just for abhorrent movies that are the devil's work.
That's actually offensive to the devil, I'll say.
Yeah, I know. Offense to the devil. That makes it sound too cool. Just movies that shouldn't even be named. I'm not going to even say it. You only get to see what it is if you watch the video. Don't watch them.
Okay. Thank you, David. And this is how those letter grades turn into points. If, for instance, Red Faction Origins were to be an F, like the movie that shall not be named, ooh.
Who wants to name it?
Voldemort, ooh. It would give Devin 0 points. But if it was an E, he would get 1 point. If it was an S, he would get 6 points. It's a very straight up curve or straight up line, linear. Because I counterpicked this movie, I am also either going to lose or gain points based on what we give this movie. And on the YouTube video for this episode, it is also linear. If it was an F and Devin got 0 points, I would get 4, and then E would give me 3, D would give me 2, S would lose me 2 points. So really, in order to benefit from the counterpick, this movie needs to be C or lower, but you run the risk, I run the risk of if we agree this movie is actually a B or higher, I might not be gaining any points and I might be losing some. So that's just generally speaking how this rubric works. So far, if we look at the point totals here, now, Devin, this is his second pick. Dave and I both have had our second picks scores and graded, so it's not entirely, even in terms of what the points could be, but David is in the lead with a flat 9.0. I am right behind him with 8.82 points. And Devin, so far, before ranking this movie, is sitting at 3.84. Devin had counterpicked a film before and gotten, how many points did he get? He got 2 points from his counterpick, and David counterpicked... That's
the only thing keeping me somewhat alive early in this game.
Right. David had counterpicked one of my movies, which was a B, which got him nothing. It was 0. He didn't lose any,
brutal.
But he got him 0. And we're going to see what happens with this counterpick and see if Devin can tie us up or at least get close to the 8 and 9s here. So we got to each go around the table here and pitch what we think that the letter grade for this movie is. And we've been pretty close whenever we do this, so it's very easy for us to find the middle ground. If there even needs to be one. Because sometimes we all agree. Devin, because this is your movie, you get the first crack at bat. What do you think this movie should be? And why?
Yeah. I really didn't have too hard of a time, like, pre-episode putting this where I would put it. We used the word fine, so I feel like it kind of just... like David said during the whole little ranking intro there, that usually means C. And, comparing it to other C movies in there, like, for me, like, I try to have fun. If the movie was somewhat fun, that can take it out of D for me. And I think that's the reason I am putting it in C for me, because it's just fine. It's like, it has some cool moments in it. I love the set pieces. It feels from an era where you just wouldn't make a movie like this anymore, even for the Sci-Fi Channel. The world of green screens and all that, it just, weirdly enough, feels kind of refreshing, even though it's not great. It does feel like a TV show of that era as well, for better or for worse. The dialogue's cheesy. Some lines are better than others. Some actors are definitely better than others, but overall I feel like everyone did try and seemed to have fun with it, but they're not making it more than what it is out to be. This isn't trying to be a avant-garde science fiction TV series that has big political messages or has something to say. This is more of a space adventure that is a setting for a shooter video game. That's what it feels like to me, and I think it does its job at what it's supposed to do. I don't think this movie ever really had a chance to ever be a B or an A, unless it, like I said, it tried to tell something more than it was trying, like what it wound up saying, which is hey, maybe don't war sometimes. I guess like that's at most what the message is out of this movie. And like I said, I think science fiction movies, the better ones, have something to say, or at least have some type of reflection of current society. But like I said, the point of this movie is to set up a shooter video game storyline that who knows how elaborate it is in the video games. We've never played it. I don't know if it's a BioShock kind of thing where you pick up audio tapes or whatever, or someone talks to you to tell you, here's how the story's going, or if it just happens in the beginning and then you're kind of making up your own story as you progress through the game. But yeah, I had, like I said, fun with it for the most part. Not a movie I'd probably watch again, but I didn't have a disappointing time either, which is usually what gets me into the D category, or where I have big, heavy critiques of it. I think this is a kind of textbook C, honestly. Maybe it's on the lower C end if we're doing the tiers within the tiers, but because there is, I think some of the Resident Evil movies are definitely better, for example. But yeah, it is what it is. Textbook C, I think, for me.
Okay. For the record, I have never consented to tiers within the tiers, but I want to know what David's tier within this film is. I don't know. Bad segue.
Yeah. Well, you weren't really invited into the tiers within the tiers, so you don't have to consent until we invite you. I mean, this is C for me. I would even say a C.C. And so I mean, I think it was just fine. It had redeeming qualities. It was, I was bored, but I wasn't like forcing myself to watch it. So I don't think I gotta belabor the point anymore. C.
Okay. Well, because I counterpicked this movie, it must be really bad. So it's F. No, I'm kidding. Obviously, I can't do that. That's not fair, and that's obviously not being honest, because I also agree that this movie is C. And for my main reason why I say it is a C is because I didn't dislike this movie. I didn't hate this movie. Yeah, like I did check the time a couple times, like so how much is left, but like it wasn't necessarily out of like, oh my god, I have to watch the rest of this. This is more of like, where are we at? How much is stuff picking up? Because there's a lot of issues with this film, but nothing that I would say makes this as a do not watch. Like, yeah, if you're curious, I would say give it a watch. Certainly if you played the games, like I feel like if you had played more than one of these games, then yeah, you should probably watch this film, because why not? It's certainly, at least for me, it was extremely accessible to view. It doesn't hurt, you know what I mean? And like David said, there's a tier of television film that you just have on. You know what I mean? These are one of those movies you can just have on, and you're not really missing much. They kind of repeat the key points over and over. He is looking for his sister, and his sister doesn't think that he exists, and that's the movie. So you could kind of key in and out, and I think then we're all on the same page here that this movie is a C, right?
Sounds like it.
Okay, as I very slowly but surely stall to make sure I can export this image correctly. Bam! There we go. A C is on the screen here. Now we need to turn the C into points, which according to the Rubric would give Devin 3 points and would give me a point here. But that's not the only way points are awarded. If folks at home noticed, we say this freaking bit every single time. Pretend this is your first time watching, guys. We say this every single time. It must be important. Where'd the decimals come from, Devin? What happened?
Yeah, the decimals is a way to kind of, for fun, add a tiebreaker to this. When we first started doing this, we were like, oh, there's a chance we actually could tie, just because a lot of these movies seem to fall in the C category for whatever reason. So we're like, oh, there's probably higher odds that we will actually tie. So we decided to add a decimal system, which comes from Rotten Tomatoes, and also as a way to kind of see, like, there's been times when we've ranked movies where we're higher or lower than the general audience score. So on Rotten Tomatoes, we look at the popcorn meter, not the tomato meter. Tomato meter is like actual critics. We we would love to be actual critics and have our rankings applied to Rotten Tomatoes maybe one day. But we're more with the general audiences, right? We're just some guys on the street here. We have full-time jobs, you know what I mean? So like we try to look at that to kind of see, hey, are we aligned with other people? Are we higher, lower? But also as a fun way to add to the decimal point. So for example, if the popcorn meter is at a 50%, we move that decimal point over 2, it'd be 0.50. So that's why we have the decimal points. And funny enough that David has a 0.00. We haven't seen that before. It's probably going to end, but like a flat number is actually way unlikely considering how this game goes. But nonetheless, that's why we have the 0.82 Ethan has, 0.00, and then 0.84 is from the popcorn meter. And sometimes some of these more obscure movies do not have scores. That's also part of kind of the draft strategy. We're like, hey, do we think these are going to actually have reviews or not? And that it has come down to it. It has come down to the points. They do add up. But without further ado, I will say this one does have a Rotten Tomato score.
I was curious.
David and Ethan, do you want to take your guesses for funsies?
I do. 56.
Damn, I was going to say 54. I'll stick with it, 54.
All right.
Okay. You're both too high. It's 25.
Which means I'm closer.
Okay.
25,
Dang.
you said?
And that's with 100 ratings. Yep, 25.
Wow. 100 ratings, 25.
So at least it will get me.
Okay. Yes. Give me a second here as I have to. Folks, I use a program known as Adobe Illustrator to make these graphics. Is there a better way to do this live? Certainly, especially
I'll
with
read
text.
I will also read the audience reviews while Ethan's doing that.
I will say I am ready to post in 3, 2, 1. Our updated scores, Devin's at 7.09, which is higher than where I thought he would be after 2 picks.
Yes.
So
especially a big E. My first pick was a huge bust. I'll say it already. A huge bust. We thought we could develop him into a big superstar, but he just had too many off the field issues, and I should have read the newspaper. And see that he had 7 DUIs before drafting him.
Well, you're less than 2 points away from second place. So, it's still anybody's game for sure.
There's a lot of ball. I mean, it's really going to come down to those Uwe Bowl. That's what I'm afraid of.
There could be some Fs.
Maybe.
They probably all are going to be E's and F's. The question is, will it be F's or E's? Is really the...
We had done one film prior to the movie that Postal, and that was Blood Rain, and that movie we gave, I think, an E2. So he's at least made one movie we're aware of that isn't, as David put, abhorrent. So maybe that's the best we can hope for these films.
That was pretty good.
You didn't make that one. But,
you didn't make that one.
Glad you knew that movie was really bad, though. House of the Dead, Alone in the Dark, and Far Cry are the 3 Uwe. These made a lot of them. Unfortunately, we need to watch them all. And we made them rainbow colored because we think he would not like that.
Here, let me read some critic reviews and audience reviews off of Rotten Tomatoes to see. Like I said, are we close? So Cindy White for IGN Movies wrote this back in 2013. It offers a compelling, if formulaic, story of redemption that doesn't feel like a waste of a good 90 minutes. I feel like that's pretty close to how we've described it. Someone from 2011 from the Sci-Fi Movie page, James here, says stands head and shoulder. Yeah, he's keyed in. Okay. Stands head and shoulders above the scraping of the bottom of the Sarlacc pit world of sci-fi movies, such as The Almighty Thor and Battle of Los Angeles. Talks about more there. But here, let me look at audience reviews. Someone from 2022, December 11th, 2022, named Steve, gave us
shout out
a half star, not a 1, a half star. As cheap as anything I've ever seen. He probably watches fucking AI TikTok videos all day. I already know this kind of dude.
You got to see this raccoon jumping on a trampoline.
It's definitely real. Someone from 2016 said, like some lousy sci-fi I'd watched before 2000. Give it 2 stars. Not bad, just not really good either. 2013. Someone gave it 4 out of 5 in 2013. Wow. Saying, pros, great story and adaptation to the video game. Cons, no cons at this time? Question mark. When is Sci-Fi Universal going to make the show anytime soon? Sorry, bud.
Yeah,
he was excited.
Faction fanboy.
So we got a good wide variety here.
Okay, and we are right in the middle, like the centrists we are.
Yeah, someone who played the games though liked it. Like we were saying, like maybe someone who played the games might like it more. That makes sense. So,
and obviously that's probably going to happen with everything. Like you're going to see more people who are not more critical of a thing they like not living up to expectations than there are people defending a thing because they like the overall broader property, right? That's why Disney is as popular as it is, because one dude watched Snow White or something like that, or Tarzan, and now has to defend the purchase of ESPN and ABC and all that jazz. And maybe Epic Games, because I think that is potentially being floated around. Maybe that's also why Unreal Engine 6 is the way it is.
It's time to stop.
Wow. Okay, well, hey, that was another fine, literally fine, movie in the can. I want to thank Devin and David for joining me here. It's been a long journey that we've had, but we're not over yet. Folks at home, if you're maybe not aware, we always end one of these movie reviews with a game show. Now, I've received a lot of feedback the past couple weeks about previous game shows, and they fucking loved it. They loved that last one so much. They thought it was avant-garde. They thought it was brilliant, innovative, and downright beautiful. And to those fans, I'm happy that you enjoyed it, but I can't just keep doing the same thing every single time. We got to spice it up. I got to challenge you. You thought a game show that was me basically asking,
that feedback's from me, damn it. Damn.
Okay.
Gosh. Could you, I mean, I even had my fans DMing me being like, how are you even playing this game? They're like, I come to see the highest competition of trivia, of niche trivia on this program. How are you even still standing there? They said I should protest, but I said no. The people need me to be there. The underdog needs to be the underdog and show up and fight through all that. But it's glad to hear you're changing your tune, because as the Double D champion, that's why we have 2, reminder, the David and Devin champion. Double dog.
Oh, okay. I thought you were referring to your big naturals.
But it should be 3 Ds, underdog, Devin, and David sucks. That's what it should be. But we'll say double D for David and Devin. But yes, the fans were talking, and they were telling me I should revolt, but I said no. I'm a man of pride, a man of honor, and I will continue to participate despite what has been clearly corruption against me.
Well, I don't know if I necessarily agree with all of that, but I think to save our audience a petty grievance-filled argument, I'm going to move on to what I think will delight and surprise both of you. Now, we've done game shows that are the most complex thing ever, and we've done game shows that are the opposite, and people love that one. Let's go back to a classic. Either-or situation. Shut up. It's time for everyone's new favorite game show, Marzona. I'm going to show you guys 10 Corona? Partial screenshots from video games. These games, or either these screenshots more specifically, are either from a game on Mars or from a game in Arizona. And I want you to basically let me know which you think it is.
So we're guessing if it's Arizona or Mars.
Arizona or Mars. Now, initially, it wasn't Arizona. It was just funny, anywhere that isn't, Mars that I could make look like Mars, make that confusion. But I realized that's just Arizona. And, there's a lot of games. When you don't do this now, after the show, you can Google video games set in Arizona, and you'll find a Wikipedia list. And I'm like, okay, I could do this one and this one and this one. Almost as many as there are set on Mars, so it's kind of wild.
Luckily the underdog has been to Arizona, so hopefully I have an advantage here.
Wait, David, you were in Arizona? I didn't know that.
I've not.
Oh, weird. Devin just said the underdog did, and as the person who hasn't
won
the underdog
trademark,
championship,
We're in the works.
Sure. Okay, this is very simple. This is an either or. We're gonna go back and forth. I gotta decide who goes first, because how this is gonna happen
I'll go.
is I have 10 of these, and I want you both to guess what it is. Is it Mars or is it Arizona? Unlike previous ones, I will reveal after each question what it is. So it's not going to be a big list at the end.
Live.
You're going to be able to keep track live, which may or may not help. Which may or may not help your decision making. Because I know you guys like to metagame and think, well, if he's done so much of one category and not another, does this up the odds? I know you guys like to think like that.
I'm sorry. We like to play the game, Ethan.
Oh, don't be sorry.
We like to play your fun games.
No,
wow.
All right.
Why are you taking that from David there? I think you should punish him.
I think I should too. Let me give him another trophy to weigh him down so he can't run very fast. Okay, very, very simple here. I'm going to show you, and you're going to want, folks at home, enlarge this YouTube video. And folks in my Discord call right now, make me full screen, because this is going to be in here that you're going to see these.
Good call, Ref.
You guys both have a coin, right?
Yes, I do.
It wasn't for this game show, but I need one of you to flip a coin and call it, and that person will go first if they call it correctly.
Let's both
flip it.
Tails
never fails. It's heads. I'm an honest man.
Mine was heads too.
All right, David will go first. Now you're both going to answer for both of them, but just to make it, David will answer first, then Devin, then Devin, then David, then David, then Devin. That's how we'll do it. All right, here is our first screenshot. Hoping I'm doing this correctly.
I'm ready. Oh, whoa.
Is this Mars or Arizona? David, you are up first.
What? This is there's that many. I'm like, I thought I understood the premise of this, and as soon as that popped up, I lost all understanding. I'm saying it's Mars. There's no way that is Arizona.
Okay, Devin, Mars or Arizona?
I think it's Mars too.
Devin and David both say Mars, so they're tied either way, win or lose. The answer is Mars. This is from Doom 2016. Okay. So both of you guys each have a point so far. Yeah, that's from Doom 2016 was a very, very good game. I loved it a lot. And I almost platinumed that game, but a bug prevented me from getting a trophy, and so I need to do another thing there. Okay. Oh, I didn't. Hold on. Whatever, your points haven't been updated, but we will move on. All right, to screenshot number 2. Devin, you will answer this one first, followed by David. Is this Mars or Arizona?
Dang, it was a small one, huh?
I'm going to say that's Mars.
Devin is saying Mars. David.
Looks like some sedimentary rock right there, and I don't think they would draw that from Mars, so I'm going to say Arizona. I'll be surprised if they did that much detail.
I updated for the previous points. Now I got to update it again, but we are here. Devin had said Mars, and David had said Arizona.
That weird bush or rock thing is suspicious.
True.
That's the only thing that's the reason I went Mars, just because it does look
fair.
Okay.
Alien.
Answer is Arizona. This is from Life is Strange 2, a video game I had been playing recently.
Oh, I forget that they're going to be screenshots from video games.
Yes, they are all screenshots from video games.
This doesn't look like a photo.
Okay, so currently, David has 2 points and Devin has 1. Here is partial screenshot number 3 of 10. David, Mars or Arizona?
What the hell? What is up with these rocks? Are those pillows or rocks? God,
it's like a limestone. That's a limestone.
This is tough. My gut is saying Mars, so I'm gonna go Mars.
Okay, Devin. Mars or Arizona? Mars-Arizona?
Yeah, can I guess Arizona? I'm gonna say the only thing that's giving me suspect is that weird thing in the back. Looks like a slant of some sort, some type of metallicness. Because I would have gone Arizona, but then I'm thinking, is there a video game where aliens come to Arizona? And I think not. I'm gonna also agree with David. I think this is Mars. But there's like a weird. What's that weird thing with the like? Is that antlers? What is that? Or a tree? It's that metallic thing. I can't tell if that's supposed to be like a lighting effect or like actual like a spaceship or something. I'm gonna stick with Mars though.
Okay. Devin says Mars. David says Mars. So you guys will either both not get a point or get a point, depending on the answer. Because the answer is Mars. This is Destiny 2.
Okay, there was a fucking pyramid thing. I was
nearly
like,
300 people from Bungie got laid off now that Destiny 2 was complete. Yay. Isn't that great? We love it when that happens. Wow. Yeah, initially I had the pyramid thing in there, half of it, because I didn't realize at the point it would be Arizona as the other category. So it's like, oh, maybe I would just say Earth in general, Earth or Mars, and but I thought maybe having a pyramid might make you think Egypt. But no, this is Mars as it is portrayed in pyramids. Destiny 2. David currently has 3 points. Devin has 2. Still anybody's game. We're on our 4th partial screenshot here. Devin is going first.
This is a lot harder than I thought.
All right. Is this Mars or Arizona? Devin.
Is that a futuristic truck or a modern truck? Or an ATV or some shit. But then I see a fucking tank thing. It's Arizona. You know what? I've seen this before. In Sedona.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Well, interesting. Interesting. David, do you agree or do you disagree? Mars or Arizona?
I disagree, and the reason is I see solar panels, and I don't think they would do solar panels on Earth because they would just assume they could get power from a power plant, I think. And so I'm going to say Mars.
Okay. David is saying Mars. We have a disagreement here. Devin says Arizona. David says Mars. The answer might surprise you. It is Mars. This is Red Faction Remastered Edition. So this is relevant to the video game. And
I thought it was gonna be a racing game or like a. That's what I was hoping to be on Earth.
That's tough.
It is. I'm happy with how this worked out. I thought I had some that I felt like maybe are a bit too easy, and then it turns out they're a little questionable. So I'm happy about that. David is taking a stronger lead now here, 4-2. Much like his trophies, although Devin doesn't have
Sometimes the good guys do win.
Sometimes they do. Let's see if that continues. Our partial screenshot number 5. David will be answering first. Is this Mars or Arizona?
What is this? This kid, you could have told me this is New York City for all I know. What is this apparatus in front of me?
Well, that's actually the latest Chinese technology that they've been building. This is for their new way of powering.
I mean,
they're really ahead of us at this point.
Yeah, this entire structure powers all of Beijing. It's insane.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna say Mars. I mean, I don't know.
Devin?
I mean, I'm at this point. I'm behind as the underdog usually is. So I think I have to change it, but I don't know how many questions are left. Are we aware of this knowledge?
I said there were 10 total, and this is number 5.
So do I take the risk here and go down potentially, or I take one here? The underdog puts the cards on the table. The underdog has the back against his walls, and he says that this is actually Arizona for some reason.
Whoa.
In the future. This is in the future, in some game that takes place in the future. It's powering all of Tucson right here.
Yeah.
Not quite Phoenix. Smaller area. Tucson.
Because
they have a bigger one for Phoenix.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is one of the smaller like prototypes actually.
Okay.
From the first early editions.
Okay. I appreciate that. And that's good thinking, Devin. I'm glad you chose
wrong,
that.
I know.
Because it's wrong. This is obviously Mars, and it's a sci-fi thing. This is Far Cry 5's DLC Lost on Mars.
Far Cry 5? What the fuck?
I know.
Far Cry went to space? When the fuck did that happen?
In Far Cry 5, I guess it's DLC Lost on Mars.
That's crazy.
And Lost on Mars? Like,
Lost in space.
Isn't the game supposed to be like interacting with... Oh, whatever, dude.
Far Cry 5 took place in, like, I don't know, some Midwest flyover state. And I guess they wanted to juxtapose that with the DLC. Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't take a picture of, like, or you didn't crop it to be the rocks to the side. I mean, that could have been either one for sure.
They can't all just be rocks. I have to have these 10 screenshots be varied, David.
That's the biggest part about Mars and Arizona, though.
Okay. Well, David has a 3-point lead on Devin here.
Good.
I can't tell you if I'm happy or displeased about that, but let's go to the back half, the back 5 of this game show. Here is partial screenshot number 6.
Lock in.
Devin is going first for this one. Devin, is this Mars or Arizona? Yeah, you want to take those sunglasses down for this one.
Dang, dude.
Well, I see a tarantula. But is that a fucking Martian spider or something? Martian Shelob?
Remember when they turned Shelob into a sexy lady in the Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor video game?
Or was she a sexy lady turned into a spider?
I think that was the lore reason, but yeah.
She a baddie, but she's a spider. God, it's Mars. Screw it. It's the Martian big bug. It's
okay.
Whatever. I'm wrong, but I have to start going against.
Well, if you think you're wrong, you change it now before.
It's called winning the game. It's called winning the game. You hear the dogs barking? They are telling me stick with your guns. The underdog and the dogs are barking. Let's go.
I'm gonna say Arizona. This doesn't have the signature red hue that they throw over Arizona-looking places to make them Mars. So I'm gonna go Arizona.
Okay, you are saying just because I got a little bit wound up there.
It doesn't have the Mars hue, so it has to be Arizona.
Okay. The answer is Arizona. This is from a Wii game called Deadly Creatures that I heard is actually pretty neat. You play as spiders and scorpions and whatnot. And so, yeah, this spider is taking on a snake. Will he win? I don't know. I actually don't know. Which means, David...
Was it a combat game? Like, where they fight? Like...
I honestly don't know. Maybe we'll play it one day on the channel. I don't know. I heard it was kind of neat. All right. Devin needs to get all 6 correct, and David cannot get any correct at all in order for Devin to tie. So, now this is where the name underdog really actually needs to work in your favor, Devin. If you get these next 4 correct, and if David shits the bed like he kind of does sometimes, let's be real here. This is still technically anybody's game. Do I have a tiebreaker? Maybe. Maybe not. Sometimes I forget. Sometimes I remember. Partial screenshot number 7. 4 more of these to go. David is going first. Is this Mars or Arizona?
Arizona.
Okay. David is saying Arizona. Devin, how about you?
I think he's right. But I have to, for the sake of trying to win, go the opposite direction. I think this is
Fair
Mars.
enough.
I think that shadow is an AT-AT jumping from Star Wars.
Okay.
It could be a weird Mars windmill or something.
I don't know. I really don't know what that is. It's something.
Do you want to know what that shadow actually is?
Tell me.
Because I'll show you right now. That is Michelle from Tekken 2 being locked away by martial law in Arizona on her stage. Yes, indeed. This is.
Well, how do they know it's Arizona? Did it say?
Yes. Their stage takes place in
They're like,
Arizona.
Mars!
It's not Mars, Devin.
It must be Arizona.
They're like, Washington, Japan, Mars! Like, it was one of the stages.
Yeah. Okay. David is...
Fucking damn it, bro.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I want to play this out because I took the time to make this, and the folks at home appreciate when we do this.
Well,
so for
speed
fun,
round.
Mars or Arizona?
Mars.
Okay, you both say Mars. I'm not going to keep points anymore so we can speed around this. This is Mars. This is NBA 2K Playgrounds 2. This is on
Why
Mars.
would they have spacesuits in Arizona? That would be wild. That would be...
I mean, okay, you look at this screenshot here, and
I
think a
saw
little
the
bit long
spacesuit.
about it.
I saw spacesuits.
In the background,
you
it looked
could
like they were in.
but they're playing
like in
basketball.
some oxygen, but they're in the oxygen like thing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
definitely Mars.
Okay, I thought maybe that would be like, is this like a movie set? Like, what's going on?
If you like screenshotted like even just the this, actually no, everything in
guy
this
who
looks
has a
Mars.
spacesuit on.
Everything. The more I look at this, I'm like everything
There's
is
an
very
alien
science
to the side. We didn't
Oh,
see
no,
that
that-
in the screenshot.
No, that's just Wembyama right there.
Okay. All right. Mars or Arizona?
See, now if all of them were like this,
That'd be
it would have been crazy.
almost impossible. Mars. I don't know.
Arizona.
Devin saying Arizona, David saying Mars. This is the special quintuple point round. This is
Yes.
no, but this is Arizona. Devin is right. This is Horizon Zero Dawn. Yay. A sci-fi game, but still set on Earth. Nonetheless.
Right.
Okay. And our final one, my favorite one. Is this Mars or Arizona?
Mars.
Arizona. Why not? Because it's gonna be. What if it's Fallout or something weird like that?
Last chance to change your mind, boys. This is the most important one.
That's it.
Okay.
Locking in.
All right. This is indeed Mars, because this is Stalin versus Martians.
What
Some
the
PC
fuck?
game from 2009.
Oh my god.
I wonder how much
What
this
the
game costs
fuck?
on eBay. Yeah, and I think that's supposed to be Hitler as the octopus thing,
I was gonna say it does look.
Oh. Wow.
because
Huh.
they did fight. Yeah,
They did.
They did.
They did.
Good history.
All right. Well,
Hey,
Thank
but you
you.
know what? Guess what? I'm actually gonna, think about that. And Stalin. Everyone thought it was game over for him too. And just like David might be trying to storm at the gates, we're gonna push back. We'll be back, and then you'll be thanking me. You'll be thanking me
Yeah.
for defeating the evil that is David.
the evil that is David. Well, David has earned his 5th trophy, and I am looking
Good.
through this this document. Oh, there we go. Now I can
I wanna see that
successfully.
number 5 there.
I know, like they're not ordered correctly. I'm like, if Devin had his 4th trophy, I had one random. Like they're all out of order on my list there. David now has 5 trophies.
All right, 1-1.
Sure, this is bigger
A
though.
long 5.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I want to thank you boys for participating in this spectacular game show, and thank you boys at home, and thank you everyone at home, not just the
Hey,
boys, but thank
no,
you everyone at
yeah.
home, for watching this episode of the Sonic Movie Show. Like and subscribe, please. And as always, Devin's taking on his local politics. I saw him. He threw it at that sign. Hasta luegos, as they say in Arizona and Mars.
Bye.